So it's early in the morning and I thought I would show you guys what I brought with me to renovate a house that's 1,000 miles away. I obviously didn't stage anything in here for you. This is what I packed up in my van and brought, and I thought I'd kind of give you a little tour. This little workbench was already here. I brought a few little tools over there. I've got a step ladder, and the thing hanging up here is actually pretty cool. I need to show you guys this. Maybe this is a tool that saves the day, but this is a sheet goods carrier, and it kind of clamps onto the sheet goods and makes it easy to carry. Obviously brought a ton of extension cords. Over here, we're in the middle of doing some laminate flooring, so I have my jigsaw where I accidentally nicked this table, and I never do that, but I did this time. Really love the Dewalt jigsaw. High quality. I think I'm going to have this thing for the rest of my life. Over here we have the miter saw. This is a Dewalt 12-inch miter saw. It's a little bit big to travel with, but because I was doing so much laminate flooring, I didn't want to bring the 7 1/4 battery operated one, and I sold my 10-inch sliding, so that's what I've got. Some random tools up here, some staple guns. I've got the cable tacker, some of these non-marring hammers. That's an old one, things like that for installing laminate flooring. I've got my framing hammer, my square little sledge, a couple of these cat claw bars. I've got a little rasp there from doing some drywall, things like that. Coming around over here, we've got a couple of clamps and a couple of T-squares and the 21 ounce, maybe 30 ounce caulk gun. I forget how much is in that thing. Over here we've got my generic plumbing box, and this one's kind of a mess. I'd love to replace this with something better, but believe it or not, basically everything I need to do plumbing is in this box. Got a couple of rigid cases down here. Have my 1/4 inch and 3/16 tap cons. You may have seen those in a previous video. So they're all organized and ready to go with everything I need per size. I have my IT kit down here, so haven't really needed that on this trip, but I was installing a Ring doorbell for my mom, so I went ahead and brought this up, and I might do some Ethernet in this house. The next couple kits I have down here are the Craig pocket hole jig. I may be doing some cabinet building later on, so I'm glad I have that. I have the Sawmax by Dremel, and I love this little thing. I don't use it a ton, but it cuts all kinds of different materials, stuff like that. Love it. I've used the Bosch hammer drill once on this project. I also have a cordless one inside, which I use a little bit more. But this thing is ready to go. Going to be busting up some rock with it. And my generic kind of Craftsman tool set with a bunch of other random adapters and stuff like that down there. In terms of power tools, I have the bigger Makita worm drive saw for when I really need some power. I have this Dewalt mixing drill. These things are great. I've burned out so many 1/2-inch drills mixing mud and concrete and stuff like that. I had to mix up about 300 pounds of self-leveler to level the floor here, and this thing works like a champ. The caulk gun for adhesive, I haven't really needed that yet. Down here we've got a belt sander, angle drill, flashlight, heat gun, Milwaukee angle grinder. I brought 19 batteries with me that are 3 amps or bigger, and I used that reciprocating saw a ton. Used the cordless circular saw to take down a fence. This battery operated angle grinder, I've only cut a lock with it. We used all the various sanders. I used this little router to mortise hinges on doors. This thing here, this deserves a video of its own. But I ground a slab for about 3 hours with this 4.5-inch Ryobi angle grinder, and it's still going strong to my surprise. Brought a bunch of these impact drivers and drills. There's more around the house, and used this thing for an air mattress that I was sleeping on. Having just put laminate floor throughout the house, some of these closet doors needed to be trimmed on the bottom, and nice enough that these things have enough meat in them that I can get a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch off one without causing any problems. And I used to use the planer a lot for that. but I've kind of switched over to the track saw. And if you're not familiar with the track saw, it rides on this little track and just makes crazy accurate cuts. I have another piece of track up here in the case, which this case is amazing. It holds two of them, so I think I've got like 110 inches of track or something like that, so I can cut a sheet of plywood diagonally with it. But can't say enough good things about the track saw. It deserves a video of itself. I really can't say enough good things about the track saw setup. It deserves its own video. They're super popular in Europe, but not as popular here in the US, and people need to know about them. And this is the Ryobi job site table saw. This is back when Ryobi actually made decent table saws. You know, it's relatively accurate, extremely portable, has a decent amount of power and all that stuff. I love the way all the wings slide out. Let's see here, I've got the fence on there. Grab this thing down here. Love the way the wings fold out like that. This back thing comes out. Plus I'm gonna walk you across the garage. I've got several of these rigid flip top outfeed tables, which are really nice. Like right now I'm lined up with the miter saw, which is awesome, but I've got another one over here that I generally take over to the table saw. So that gives you a pretty good portable setup. This is my quick access table. We have the electric stuff. You can see some that's pulled out of the box here. I keep my most commonly used hardware in here. We've got 3 and 4, and I guess 2.5 inch construction type screws, have some drywall screws, have some tech screws. There's always nail drivers in here. There's always nail sets in here. I guess I say nut drivers in here. And then I just tend to use the tools out of my electric box for everyday usage, so things get thrown in and out of here. Have all the various pliers and headlamps and utility knives and all that kind of stuff stay in here, as well as the fish tapes and crimpers and sockets and torpedo levels and all that kind of stuff. Up here are things that are going to be used in the project. I did kill my finish nailer. I actually killed 2 finish nailers on this project. Bad month for finish nailers. I've got my drywall box with all the tape and, you know, all those things up there. I've got my box of work gloves, and anybody can come in here and just grab a glove. I've got a biscuit joiner and hand planer, both those things in really good shape. Ryobi work great. I have some more odd size screws, things I don't use quite as much in here, as well as all of my crimp connectors. Let me open this up. So, you know, just various supplies, crimp connectors, staples, you know, hex screws and fuses and all kinds of stuff like that, as well as some drywall anchors and more connectors under here. Barely ever need to go in this box, but it does have stuff that I'd rather not run out and buy separately. Few various trowels and hand tools and stuff in here. Have the Dewalt Reciprocating Saw. Can't say enough good things about this. I burned out a bunch of them over the years, and one day I was like, you know, I'm going to pay $100 and just buy a Dewalt. And I've probably had it. I know I got it in 2006. So, you know, we're 15 years going strong on that thing. Some various tools over here. This actual thing. This is the. Let's see what's still in here. But this is all these kind of things. So the vibrating tool and the angle drills and angle impact, like let's say, yeah, one of these things. All these various tools sit in here. I've used it for sanding on cabinets and things like that. So yeah, just kick the bucket. Yeah, just some random things down here, nothing too important. Up here is all the various, you know, safety gear, things like we've got dust masks and ventilators and, you know, a few trash bags and paddle mixer and glues and wax for the tabletop, magnetizer, demagnetizer. Can't say enough good things about those. This whole box up here is various things for installing doors, doorknob jigs and door strike jigs and door hinge jigs and all that kind of stuff. My dead nailer, got a couple Ryobi staplers and pin nailers and things like that. There's a spiral saw, laser level, which I mentioned in another video. This thing's fantastic. Some random router bits, got a Dremel, staples and shims and adhesives and stuff like that up there. Really love these lint-free rags. Fantastic for pretty much all kinds of projects. And over here we have backup bits. What I do is I keep just one set of these in the house. So I've got a duplicate of this set, if I can one-hand it. Got a duplicate of that inside the house, and then we just use the heck out of those bits. And if we break or lose enough, I'll switch sets out and replace these when I get home. So this is like a backup bit set. I do have some other stuff over here. I love these Daredevil spade bits, are great. You need to have a good set of chisels. Like I said, I've been mortising hinges and things like that. So these aren't expensive chisels, but they're good chisels. And then all the various kits. So I've got Dremel kits, that Saw Max thing that I mentioned earlier. You've got metal and tile and, you know, all kinds of stuff there. The vibrating multi-tool, bunches of accessories for those, little bits for electronics and things like that. But that is the gist of what I bring. You know, it's really tough when you leave your house and have no idea what you're going to be doing. You kind of want to pack the kitchen sink. Oh, I do have this one little section here, got a couple levels. And this thing, I might have mentioned it in a mailbag video by now, but absolutely love this thing. Have my wrenches in here. I really need to hang it by these two grommets, but just love knowing, you know, what's going to be in here when I open it up. Again, it would be a lot easier to open with the grommet. Face shield. Highly recommend these, you know, opposed to goggles. I do have safety goggles all over the place, but when you're doing things like the table saw or grinding, go full face shield, and don't forget the ear protection. So as I was saying, it's hard to know exactly what you're going to need when you're 1,000 miles from home, but this is what I brought. So hey, thanks for watching. Have a great day.